When it comes to writing software and writing products, I'm always in favour of smaller competitors challenging the status quo and innovating and taking their own shot at creating something that helps writers get their stories written. So with that in mind, I want to show you a new writing app today. It's called BYOK. This started as a hardware, a device for distraction-free writing, and they've got a really successful Kickstarter for that device. It's called Bring Your Own Keyboard, and I'll link it below. But in addition to that, they've now developed their own writing app, which is what I want to look at today. Obviously, the two will work together, but you can use this app like you would any other software. This video isn't sponsored, and I'm not being paid to provide a favourable opinion. I'm not being paid at all. They just asked me if I wanted to check it out, see what I thought of it. So I thought I might as well make a video and show you as well, because I think it's pretty cool. Let me show you. So I like simplicity and minimalism when it comes to software, especially when it's to do with a creative task where I just want to get something done and I don't want to be distracted by a bunch of stuff. So this is the home page. Doesn't get much more minimal than that. To actually use the software, you just click down here, which opens up this tray, which sort of reminds me of like a desk drawer or something. It's just you keep all the stuff there and then you fold it down out of sight so you can't see it. So I'll start with the settings because there's some interesting stuff in here, and then I'll go into the wider functionality. Here, there's an inbuilt timer, which I think is really cool, and you can choose whether to display that as you're writing or to just keep it hidden in the tray. But what a good idea. It feels like this was input by somebody who writes. I've seen so much more over the past couple of years of people writing to timers. I do it myself with those exercises I post on my channel. So this is just a nice inbuilt thing that you don't have to manage another piece of software on the side. Good to have. But the main part of this is the project selector. So here they've put in an example project, which is really useful because it shows off some of the functionality. I will look at that a little bit in a minute, but this is the one I've been building for my story called Space Thing. Haven't really titled it yet. I've only got about 12,000 words. I'll worry about a title much further down the line, but let's open this project then. So again, everything's just kept down in the tray. And this is a good example of the kind of thing that you can build using BYOK. So I've got a chapter here, which is just the basic text editor. It's got everything you need. The options are all up here. You know, you can format the text however you want, highlight it, align it left or right. You can put your rule lines on. It's distraction free. It's easy. It's got everything you need. It doesn't have bells and whistles, but if you're anything like me, you use bells and whistles to distract yourself from the actual hard work of writing. So we don't need them. It's better not to have them. And this works perfectly fine. Haven't encountered any issues with it. There's a few more organizational tools that they've input here, which is really cool. I'll start with this organizing grid. That's another thing. When you open two separate tools at the same time, you can split the screen so that you can have one on one side and one on the other, which is really useful if, say, you need to refer to this while you're writing this. You can just put it off to one side and you can change how big either side is. But if you just want to focus entirely on one thing, it's easy to just click and have it be full screen again. So the organizing grid I really like because my story is loosely structured as a main plot with touch points through the entire story with orbiting stories around that. I'm calling them orbiting because it's a space story. So to add one of those, it's really simple. I just add in orbit story 1. Oops, that should be a capital S. So there we go, that's added it in. And if you want to delete one, like I just accidentally created one there, you can just delete it and it's gone. Simple. And you can set them to different colors. Easy. You don't have to waste a lot of time formatting every single box and dragging and dropping and moving it around on the screen. You just build a map as you want it. Ideas come to me quickly, when they occasionally come to me. So I like to get them done, get them out and make them exist as quickly as possible. So tools like this really help with that. The next thing is this outline tool, which I'm really impressed by, to be honest. I don't do massive outlines, detailed outlines of my stories, but if I did, I think this is how I would do them. It works on a really simple system, like a 1, 2, 3 system. Let me show you what I mean. So here's some stuff I've put in for my story. This is about as far as I've ever planned a story before. But you hover over this plus and it gives you this option to create 1, 2, or 3. And at first I was like, what does this mean? I feel like I'm in that movie Arrivals where it's just all symbols, alien symbols, and I can't figure out what it's supposed to mean. But it's really intuitive actually. Once you click on one, you figure it out. So if I click 1, it gives me a header. So like I could put orbit stories in here. And then that's kind of an overarching category. So once that's in, if I click this again, I can click 2 or 3. So if I click 2, that gives me this second type. So I could say story 1. Once that's there, that becomes its own category, and beneath that I can put a 3, which is the main text. Man goes to a place. That's what's going to happen in that story. And I can add as many of those as I want. Man goes to another place. And you can build an outline, an entire outline like that. So if you've got some kind of clue where your story's going, must be nice, you can just plot it really easily and it won't take that long, and it's just easy and simple and clear. After that, there's this card functionality, and if you use note cards or chapter cards, you'll be familiar with the concept here. You can add a title and then a little bit of content. It's really easy to add them on, change the colours and whatnot. It's just nice to keep your ideas organised in this way. There's also an option to upload, and with this you can upload documents that you already have on your computer or in the cloud or wherever. If you download them to your computer, then you can just upload them directly onto the BYOK software. Here's that one I just uploaded. We'll put it there and it works just fine. You can type into it, you can change it, you can save it from there, so it can become part of your BYOK project even if you started it somewhere else, which I think is really useful. Frictionless, just get it in, carry on going. I'm going to switch over to the example project now just to show you a bit more about that, because they've used the software obviously way more effectively than I have. BYOK have organised their project into folders, which obviously makes navigating it really easy. But we've seen the text functionality, that's basic, it is what it is and it works. But they've also got this wiki option, which I didn't use, but it's kind of impressive. So I'll go into the entry examples here, and it's exactly what you would expect. They've created this whole wiki. So if world building is your thing, and you love to expand all the details of your universe and your world, then you've got the option to do that, which I think is really cool. Going back to the homepage then, here's an example of how they've used a grid beyond how I used it. They've got their chapter notes one, which is, even that is better than what I did, but it just links what's happening in each chapter. Dead easy, dead simple. But they've also got this content brainstorm, which I really like, where they've just categorized a bunch of different stuff. This goes beyond just the story that you're writing. It's about organizing your entire writing life, which appeals to me as a content creator. But they've got one-off video ideas, video essays, shorts, and they've got other social handles and stuff. Just a way to get a bunch of the odds and ends of your writing life and to categorize them and keep them together, which I think is really cool. But that just shows off how you can use the grid to your own specifications, really. Overall, I think it looks great. It's really intuitive, very easy to get used to, so don't be too intimidated by all the functionality. It's honestly all just point and click and self-explanatory, really. So anyone can try this app for free with full functionality for 14 days. So you might as well have a look around it. You'll discover for yourself just how easy it is for you to use. And if you like it, BYOK have also really kindly provided me with a code that will get you 40% discount on your first year of an annual plan, which is, almost half off, which is great. I'll put that code on the screen right now, but it's all caps Kieren40. Just make sure you're spelling that right. I'm not getting any kind of kickback for that, by the way. It's just a discount code for you to use if you want to. But it's important to mention as well, there is a free version with no commitment that offers basic functionality. So you might as well check it out and see if you like it. Let me know if you want to see more about this. I might take a look at the BYOK device too in the future. So if you're curious about that, leave me a comment and let me know. That's pretty much it for today. Just a quick one. I'm going to get back to my story. Thank you so much for watching as always, and happy writing.